Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to some EVE Online and welcome back to sisi, the test server, where today a mass test is taking place for the Abyss. So you're seeing lots of cruisers, lots of Helas, especially a whole train of Helas and Ishtars as well. Undocking right here, some of the new Vedmax as well. I am actually going to run this test in a Sacrilege. I think it's a pretty good ship. And the stress is, it's basically a stress test to see how the server copes with lots of people activating these filaments in a single system. So I'm just going to take Planet 1 Warp at 100. That they said that we should try to do that, as we also get some fireworks. Well, the more stuff you do, the better it's going to be. And we basically have about an hour to try and get as many filaments done as possible, just to keep opening new instances and to keep giving the test server its work here. So I've got a little bit of everything: 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I think we're going to take 1, 2, 3 and then maybe try 4 if there's still time left. I think for myself I will try to undock between activations. The best place will be when activating or coming back. Ask questions if we have questions. And let's see here, some went at 0 and someone is just 10 kilometers behind me. Maybe we'll, do we activate? So I will wait for just a little bit to make sure that that we're meant to activate at this point already. No tech trees allowed. Seeing that question come from time to time. Yes, please activate your filaments and go into the Abyss. Any cruiser will work. So there we go. We'll start with 1, a calm dark filament. Use it. You will have 20 minutes before the warp field collapses and destroying the capsule. Okay, very important that we do get that timer, of course. Now there's actually a warning there. Letting you know that, well, you are risking your ship in order to do this. Jumping is going to take a little bit of time, I suspect, with 175 people trying to do the same thing at the same time. But off we go into the Abyss. Lots of cruisers, Demos, Vedmax, yeah, Helas, Stradios. It's gonna be interesting, I think, to see how the server holds up. So this feels a little slower. There's also some tie-dye right here. We're at 80%. And there we go. Let's activate everything because I am cap stable and I seem to be missing stuff on my overview. Okay, interesting. What else have we got here? So that's the cache which we need to grab the loot in standard tracking pylons. It's giving extra tracking to whoever it is that's firing at me. And we'll do all. Nope, can't seem to see anything. Oh, what I should really do is stop hiding all. There we go. That's gonna give us a chance to click on something, especially if I zoom out a little bit more. Then we'll right click, add abyssal drone NPCs. There we go. All right, costing me a little bit of time. It's a good thing that we started with a tier 1 filament then. Because apparently the types have been reset a little bit. And let's go. Let's orbit this one at maybe 5,000. Will be fast enough, no problem. And we are going after a first small damaging drone. And it's... Ooh, they really don't like my, my hobgoblins. That's quite an aggressive behavior all of a sudden. And I actually just... lost one. Okay, let's return these guys to the drone bay. Let's see if my missiles... I should really grab precision missiles, of course. Didn't I tell you guys to all return to the drone bay here? Get back, get back, get back. Good God, this is interesting. It looks like they made it a bit harder. Return, come on. It is also possible that we have like a little bit of bad responsiveness because of everyone running these at the same time. Let's maybe see if we can get some sturdier drones out, which are definitely ticking more slowly. So this might end up being a more and more challenging. as time goes on here. Because of course you only have like a limited amount of time to finish these sites, which is 20 minutes now. At least we have a timer that is showing up here. So we got 18 minutes left. Let's get to work here. All right, that's a better hit. So precision missiles will do the job quite nicely. Attack. Also paint them red so that we can do some good hits. There you go. So that's good to see. Next one. Engage. And now I'll definitely dock in between these abyssal dungeons. So that's that. Let's start approaching that one. Ooh, they're going after my augmented hammerheads again. Oh, now they're at 16. So he's taking some distance, that bastard. I'm going to try to send that one hammerhead to attack the cache. See if maybe we can like draw them a bit closer. Very interesting. Definitely a different behavior from all of these drones now, where they are basically now he's going after your drones and then guiding or floating out of. Alright, so that one is down. My drones are in. We're going to destroy this first. Like that, so that we can grab the loot. Then we'll take a look at the small drones again. Fire, loot all. Start approaching this. And that one is down. Good stuff. Next. Should maybe lower this a little bit so that we can actually see what's on target. Fire. So the previous times that I've been testing this, these drones did not switch out to your drones that actively. I wonder how Ishtars and maybe Gilas, although the Gila drones are quite tanky, are going to deal with this. It's almost a must. 5 small drones for the really big waves of these small rogue drones, but this to me feels like a different behavior that you should keep in mind. So next up we've got another wave. It's a good thing that we have a cap stable fit here. This time we're going to give him a little bit more time to actually start attacking me. Gonna use some missiles at them. And in the dark filament, 3rd optimal range and fall off range penalty and 50% velocity bonus. So we are a bit faster here, and so are these drones, of course. So the double web is pretty important in a dark filament. I felt like until they were attacked, my hammerheads were doing a good job, so we're going to use them again. Now they're finally getting through my shields a little bit. You're next. Go. And definitely some tie-dye, actually at 50% at this point. And we're also seeing engage. We're also seeing the slower responsiveness from all of the modules here as they yet again go for one of my drones, as you can see, and then right away coasting out of range. So everybody is gonna have to return here for a moment, I think. We'll do that. We'll also target this. Interesting. This is going to make this, yeah, a little bit basically more time consuming. Next one. Okay, they are back and they survived. So now they'll be coming right back at me. We can whip this guy. And yeah, you have to. It's gonna be more responsive on TQ, I think, unless of course you also have like an alliance of 200 people that are all going to do this in the same system. But let's keep going here. Go after the next one, and basically, yeah, be careful when they switch. if you see any shield damage, I think it's a good idea to straight away recall them and try to have these guys stick close to you, especially here in a dark one, because they're just so fast that you need to web them. So there we go. Yep, there, one of them being attacked, so I'm quickly gonna recall. And we're gonna web this one. And that should be a good hit for my precision missiles. Yeah. Thank God that they can handle that. Looks like they have switched. I'm at least seeing some kind of lasers on me. Oh no, that's my target painter. So out you go. Blop this one. Good stuff. Next one. He's close enough, so we can definitely use the double web. And in a tier 1 you can afford to do this, right? To just sit around a little bit. In a tier 3, 4, 5, you'll definitely want to have some flying skills as well, so that you know what you need to do. That's done. Return to drone bay. An empty one this time. That's quite unfortunate. Let's jump to a reload here and move on to the next room. Please continue to run your encounters. We are monitoring now. You may see some time dilation, which we do indeed. So this is basically the point. I seem to be alone in local, which is a big improvement on the first deployment of the Abyss, where you had multiple people in local. You would see other players' wrecks. Of course, we all went in at the same time, so perhaps we'll still see that when we go into our next filament. So, oh, here we're dealing with a damaged Triglavian battleship. That's a first for me. Quite interesting. Alright, medium drones come out. He's at full shields and half structure. Engage. Should definitely switch from precision to something else. We'll orbit him at like 5,000 meters, double web. And we should use the heavy missiles for more damage, although these precision missiles already did quite a good job on the shields there, must say. Hammerhead's going for it as well. Very nice. So what we might just do is fire one shot in this direction. It does do more damage. Alright. That's an empty one again, so maybe the loot has basically been fixed a little bit. It's a bit more in line with what you would expect on TQ at first. Everything was just dropping like candy. But now maybe it's changed a bit. Oh, and yeah, that's the continual beam that you'll be seeing on me as well. The longer this takes, the more damage he's going to do to me. Interesting as well. Good hit. They have a decent amount of structure here. Can I actually catch up to him? Not all too well. If you're like a really close range brawler here, maybe a micro drive might be what you want. We are slowly closing the distance, of course, but now it looks like we are under his guns, because that's definitely a missing animation. He blows up. Return to drone bay. And there goes the Triglavian battleship exploding. Switching back, and let's put the precision missiles back in here. And there we go. We still have some time left here, 12 minutes. So the tier 1s, obviously in a Tech 2 cruiser, are going to be quite doable. It's very interesting that those small rogue drones now just actively chase after your drones. Is going to make it a bit harder, especially for alpha clones that maybe don't have all the durability skills, things like that, to make their drones a bit tougher. Yeah, you might have a decent challenge if you're forced into a Tech 1 ship into the Abyss, I think. So off we go. Gate is going ever so slowly. 1/4 tie-dye. Should have activated that. It's maybe because we are going to translate back into FD. All part of the stress test here, guys. Alright, so that's the first one done. Now I am actually going to dock, replace my drone, repair, and then we'll get back here and see if we can do another one. And there's all the beacons. Look at that. Really cool. On planet 1, everyone testing. Still 100 in local. Let's see if I can already do a few market details of these. Buy one, maybe buy another 5 to have some reserves. As we have Vedmax, Gila, Ishtar, Moas, more Vedmax. Which ultimately I do think that the Triglavian cruisers might become the go-to ship for the best results. Repair. Think. Where is it? Oh, that's true. That's something that it's like changed a little bit. I think that you can very easily do it here. Nope, that's for processing. Really? Am I gonna have to move them to my item hanger? I think we'll do like that then. Can I repair them now? Ah, there are no repair services in this station. I think that's what it was. Well, we'll just take the extra drone here. And we'll get back out there, activate a tier 2 filament. Can I still drop some loot in there? Maybe I was too late on that one. Anyways, the icons have changed as well. So planet 1, warp within 100.
Warp drive active.
Move these guys to small. So that we have some reserves, and we'll see. We'll go after the next one. And we've been going now for around 15 minutes. Well, you know, getting into position, all of that good stuff. I can't join mass testing and neither mass questions. Why? So there have been some chat channel problems on CC right before the start of the test, but CCP is aware of that, taking a look at it. So there we go. All the other people still in their abyssal filaments. We are gonna take a tier 2. There we go. Agitated firestorm. Use. And activate. We got 20 minutes for that one. Getting ready to jump. Hopefully this will help CCP and give them all the information that they need. And yeah, drones, use them at the right time. I think that's the biggest threat, is to lose your drones on all of that small riffraff. So let's go. Abyss number 2 in the sacrilege. Slightly pumped up sacrilege as well, because I actually have a better than average tech 2, basically an abyssal fit here as well. So I tried it and I got a really good result right off the bat. So I am now using that. Alright, again, an even bigger wave now, of course, of small little drones. So I'm going to be even more patient this time with using my own small drones. That actually looks like it's bigger. So let's see how my precision missiles go against that webifiers, by the way. Very interesting. Shields are gone. And in Firestorm, 50% HP and minus 50% thermal resistance. They, of course, also have 50% increased armor hit point. So you have to do a bit more damage to your targets as well to get through them. This is, if you have enough DPS, that's great. If not, then you might want to check another type of filament. So let's see what's next here. I do feel like I'm zooming past surprisingly quickly. Are those webbing drones not really catching up to me? Let's see if this works. Missiles on a big one. Then drones on a small one. That's double webbed. Bit of a risk, of course. in the sense that splitting up your DPS is normally not what you want to do, I think. This time we'll orbit this quite closely. Don't think that they'll really have the DPS to threaten me. First one down, that's good. Engage this one. Again, some of these guys hanging back at like 12 kilometers. Smells fishy, but we will see. Okay. Well, once I start orbiting, I think we'll slow down enough. Go, go, go. Grab the next one. And yeah, look at that. Going after one of my augmented drones right away. So let's see if I can still call these guys back. Nope, just lost one. Interesting. Maybe some reserve drones are in order. Because they really don't like them. Of course, if they were fully repped, we'd probably be okay. But I think that's important to note here. Way more aggressive on your drones. Let's do that again. Thank you for your persistence. We are now fully in monitoring to identify how we are performing. Time is still happening and is varying between nodes. So people actually go between different nodes depending probably on the filament that they are opening. Wreck that one. Go, attack, attack. If the missiles hit, then that is going to be a bit more efficient, like that. And then we have to be a little careful. If any of them, yep, start pulling back. That's a pretty clear sign to me. That guy here at 7 kilometers, that he's actually targeting my drones at this point. I think that that's what'll be happening. So we're actually going to prioritize him. Go like that. Yep, look at that. Straight after one of my damage sub goblins. Not even sure if I'll be able to save it. Nope. It is gone. And just aggressively going straight after the next one. And obviously, look at that, 10 kilometers again. So this is an interesting pattern that we are learning here. If you see them get away from that 5 kilometer orbit from your ship, you know they are no longer targeting you, they're going after your drones. Best way to go then is probably to switch them out. And now they'll just approach as quickly as they can. We are going to put our drones back out. We're actually going to destroy this one first. And, well, really good survivability though. That seems to be working quite alright. Got some loot. So that's looking okay. And responsiveness is definitely better. Is that because I'm in a tier 2 filament and more people are probably in a tier 1 filament? Just assuming that there's at least a decent amount of people that are in their like first runs of the Abyss. I'd say that that's pretty likely. So maybe it really depends on that. Although I still have some tie-dye, I feel like performance is doing better already in this tier 2. Which you know, we don't have that much time to look at things. We should definitely keep these. That's a suppressor actually at 23 kilometers. Okay, could have just flown straight to that one. Would have damaged all those drones as well. And it looks pretty damn cool. And this time, really happy to see that there's actually a timer here. 20 minutes. So 16 left to go on this one. Triclavian transfer conduit off to room 2. What do we meet here? And yeah, as expected. I mean, it really likes to throw these drones at you early on. So we're just going to target them. Let them come close. Not spotting anything different right off the bat here. So fire away. They of course miss me at this range, and this time I am seeing, this is a tracking pylon, I am seeing more and more of of these, well, at least some in every room, I would say. Some of these either suppressors or increased tracking or things like that. So I think that that's quite interesting as well. This time they will, I think, chew through my my shields. But let's go. Attack the first one. Okay, so what might be a decent way to try to go is basically to keep your damage splits. Come on, kill that one. 10 kilometers, that's not great. Next up, we'll engage one that's really close to me. All of them are still in that orbit. But then look at that, those guys have switched out to 8 kilometers, 9 kilometers. They're obviously going after my drones already. So I'm just going to tell them to straight come back in here. As we use our missiles as well. And at the same time, you've got to keep an eye on your tank, which, I mean, for me is probably going to be quite fine. And then I tell you to bloody return to drone bay? Pretty sure I did, and I still lose him. I still lose him. Holy, well, it's gonna be quite an expensive endeavor on drones like this. Luckily, this is the test server. So this time what I'll try to do, blap one, recall them. Oh, I should start to activate my Ripper as well, of course. We'll try to do that next. But yeah, rogue drones, they really don't like your drones. That's pretty obvious. So kill that one, please. And then I'll just straight return to drone bay as my missiles go after the next one. So that they can do that this time. Thank you. And we'll switch to another target. We'll double web one. We'll activate our missiles on this one. Maybe we'll use our hammerheads this time. See how they perform. That's not bad. So if you look at the hits here on the double web drones with medium drones, that seems a lot more efficient. And honestly, Gila has those souped up medium drones. That could definitely be, again, one of the answers. But still, tank is really important. And the Gila basically lacks a little bit in that department because the Tech 2 ships just have a lot better resistances right off the bat here. And yeah, they don't always just straight up blap the enemy drones. Doesn't look like too many of them are coasting out at this point, so let's see. Time wise, 13 minutes. Tie-dye, okay. There is my fleet of drones. Nice, good shots, guys. That's what we need to see. Wreck those bastards. As my missiles also, you know, do their work. I do like this setup, right? You've got the E-War in the mids, you've got the tank in the lows, and you have the good, or decent at least, damage application here. Let's see if we can blab this now. Oops, again. Return to drone bay. Look at that. And they are chewing through those shields quite quickly, must be said. No loot again. Let's see if we can... well, okay, we hit that. Good. Still have all of them. More missiles, please. Drones at the ready. Whip that bastard. And engage him. We are still capturing data, but if you wish to leave the test for today, we thank you for it's still I'll still be answering questions on mass questions. Okay, interesting. We've only been going for 30 minutes, but it looks like they have the data that they want. And didn't I try to approach this? Yep, pilot error. Also not something you want to do when you're actually on a time limit here. And this is interesting. The sacrilege is really great. I basically think standard you want to just use your hammerheads rather than your hobgoblins. They seem to be doing their job quite more efficiently. And of course, probably up to this tier without any difficulty, the Gila is going to blow through all of them a bit more quickly, I think. Well, how do you get a double weapon, a painter on a Gila though? That's a little bit different. You need to count on the damage, but can you get your medium drones on the Gila to track the targets as well as I can with the double whip on this one? I'm not so sure. I really like my sacrilege, to be honest. I think that's gonna be my go-to ship on TQ at first. And after that, we'll see. I'll try different things, make different ships. I'll use abyssal modules as well, I think, in order to try to tackle tier 4s and tier 5s. Maybe we should do that next, since CCP Paradox just said that basically they're doing okay on the data. We've been going for about half an hour. I think it's one more room. Then we'll just jump into a tier 5 and see what that's about. I've never done that, but we'll just go straight into the hardest stuff. Could be interesting. Alright, then we can start to talk here again as well if we want to. Tie-dye is slowly going down. There's still 240 people in there though. But to me, sure, it's not optimal, right? There's this tie-dye lag that you are experiencing, but in my opinion, so Fury Heavies that got I think 60 kilometer range. Those are decent hits on me. Let's get the hammerheads out as well. Engage. And that's something to note here. Those bastards have armor, of course, now that we get that armor bonus in the firestorm abyssal pockets. So fire, I think this is 60 kilometers now. Yep, 60 kilometers. So we should be able to hit this. And I will just need one volley at that one, which as we're heading there, we'll just approach that. Hoping that my drones can, start to hit. That's good. Let's go. Blop. There is loot in there, so let's go and pick that up. And then engage with the missiles once again. So we have 10 minutes left, half the time, and we are in the first in the final pocket, so I think that will be okay, especially with drones that can go after your target. 60 kilometer heavy missiles, that'll do some damage as well. This should work out, I think. He is trying to pull away from me. Now we're going to reapproach him, or do we just approach the gates? Well, no, we're gonna approach him, I think, just to make, well, I don't think he's gonna coast out of range, so maybe we'll do an orbit at 1000 here. We are now working on his armor. That goes down quite a bit more quickly. And you do have to face these guys, the drifter battleships, although they're damaged. They are, of course, still quite potent. Blop. He's down. Very nice. Return to drone bay. And look at that. 9 minutes left. And we are ready to finish. So tier 1, tier 2 filaments. Not too big a deal. Let's reload precision. Drones coming back. There they are. And let's go through this one. And yeah, we've got a tier 5 here. I don't think we'll be able to do it. Just looking at at the aggressive nature that I've spotted here against drones. That seems to be upped. Definitely seems to be upped from before. But we'll give it a try. So chaotic electrical. At the moment, I think that we can buy everything back anyways. So unless... well, it's okay. Well, maybe we'll quickly dock. Just to put that little bit of loot aside, the loot whore in me does want me to dock.
Drive active.
Most questions, any CCP stuff here. And lots of questions. How do we get loot? Can I use Tech 3 ships? Well, I do really recommend that if you feel like you're gonna become like an abyssal hunter, someone that's gonna run these regularly, to come take a look on CC. It's really a great place. Everything costs 100 disk. You can theory craft as much as you want. You can test everything out as much as you want. I'm not gonna go completely crazy, but basically I think that this sacrilege will get you comfortable up until the tier 3 sites. Then tier 4, tier 5s. I personally am going to build extra ships that I'd be willing to lose, but that I think could do the job. So let's get that loot out. Let's also maybe look to save some of these other filaments. Put that stuff in the item hanger. And yeah, since we can't repair, that's it. We're gonna take this ship as it is. Some slight drone damage, but we've already learned a couple of lessons. So let's see if we can make this happen. Planet 1, warp within 100. Okay, somebody lost a couple capital ships here, a couple carrier wrecks for some reason. So, in a non-tier 3 cruise, warp to an asteroid belt, planet or moon, then activate the filament. Anything happening here? Alright. And well, technically, you know, it was going to be 1800 to 1900, but I think it's worth it. We start a bit later anyways. There's still people in the abyss, so maybe we can still give them some interesting data. And let's go. Use chaotic electrical filament. You will gain suspect status upon completing this abyssal dead space pocket. It can be attacked. Ooh, that's an extra risk. Your safety is enabled. Alright. We are in disabled safety, which you'll need if you... oh, so you'll get that everywhere apparently, because we are in nullsec. Alright. Activating. So that's like an extra layer. If you're gonna go into tier 4 and tier 5, I think it is, be ready to risk everything. So which I would say holds true to my theory that you're gonna wanna build a ship that you can farm up to tier 3 and then have ships, extra ships ready for tier 4 and tier 5 if that's what you want to risk. So off we go. Tier 5, very first time. Let's see what we get in here. Landing. It's electrical as well. Okay, here we go. Activating everything. I'm just going to activate everything. We're gonna try to orbit this one at 5,000 or something. And it's a tier 5 drone battleship. Down here we have a suppressor, which maybe I should approach that. Then we'll activate... maybe take a look at those guys. So if I approach that suppressor, I think I can take out his drones. Let's see what kind of damage we do to these guys as well. We do hit them. And then he also has armor drones here. That is interesting and actually not great news. So let's see how this is gonna work out here. Am I close enough to the suppressor? I think so. These guys should start to take some damage from that. Well, I'm not seeing it. Okay, yeah, there we go. So that's what I wanted to see. See some damage on these guys. That Just to clear out the offensive drones, then we'll turn around. He does hit me quite hard when I'm webbed like this, or something like that happening. Okay, so now we're right on top of the suppressor. We are being sensor dampened. Roger that. Now they should be taking that damage quite heavily. We can also web these guys to give my missiles a better chance to track them. And my tank is slowly breaking though, so we do... Oh, it's now that sensor dampener. So I should gain a bit more speed at this point. And thus avoid his shots a little bit better. Maybe we'll do like an orbit at 15 or something like that here at first. Finish those guys off. Half armor again. Okay, interesting. To tell you guys everything, so this is with an abyssal rep. Meets, yeah, we'll do mediums straight on him, which I hope that I've got 5. Yeah, okay, and then we'll attack those guys with my precision missiles. Hope that we can hit. So it has a better repper, an abyssal repper in it, and another thing to note, it has I have implants. I have armor implants that are like plus 5%, I think, on amount, and minus 5% costs, or no, it's time, activation time. So I am basically kitted out quite well. Although definitely not as much as would be possible. And there you go, that's what you want to see, of course. Some misses in there as well. And then hope that we can actually take those drones out. My augmented hammerheads are still doing somewhat okay. We're going to start to realign. They're still monitoring, so we can still keep going. That one is down. And then we have some more logistics drones to take care of. Let's see now if we can, for instance, orbit this guy at 7,500 meters, add my webs, add my drones to try and take care of those logistics drones. Although those are good hits. They're just sitting there. Interesting. Then they are going to take good missile hits. So that may be a bug. I am half armor, so he really... Maybe we should get that orbit back up a little bit. So that he tracks with a bit more effort. That's a good hit. Not sure why they are stuck there, but that is what it is. So we're gonna take care of them. And yeah, the incoming damage, basically, you want to avoid that. That's a tracking pylon, which is of course helping him a lot. But you want to avoid going head on against this guy, the tier 5 drone battleship. Then we'll go for some heavy missiles. In the meantime, my heavy drones have been working on him for quite a while. They have him at almost half shields now. Interesting. Interesting. A good thing that I'm cap stable. I think you gotta have that just to be able to keep going, because in these higher tiers you will be going for 20 minutes straight. And oh, there's the loot to think about as well, I think. Let's maybe head for that. So that's his shields going down slowly. At least my drones are not at risk at this point anymore, I don't think. Unless he can get to the suppressor, which I don't think he can. And then on armor, what kind of hits do we do there? It's still not much, it's 500 almost. But yeah, this guy has a lot of HP. So what we're gonna do, oh, is see if we can one-shot that puppy. Then get back on this guy, grab the loot. Yep. Now we will be slowing down, so we'll go that way. Go, go, go. Okay. And you can see, slow down a little bit. He starts to track you, and he does a lot of damage. Interesting. This looks really cool though. Now we have a little bit of time, as we still have to chew through this Drone 5 battleship. This looks pretty cool. And 15 minutes left. I think we'll be bouncing up against the timer here pretty soon. But another thing to note, do this in a VedMach, have this continuous increase in damage. I mean, this is basically the Triclavian cruiser. Get something in there at least, though it's not too great. But you'd want to do this, you know, on TQ as well. So I think it's best that I do that. Let's orbit this guy at like 2,500 meters, something like that. Now he's slowly going down. I hope that his structure goes a bit more quickly, because technically we have like 2 minutes left to try and clear this. Otherwise we are definitely running behind on time. But a VedMach here would just have this increased DPS from the main weapon straight on him, and I think you'd have a much better chance with that chip if you can get same amount of tank out of it, basically same amount of comfortable tank. You do need to get in range. That is a bit different. Maybe micro drive for that. The theory crafting, it's gonna be quite interesting to see what people take in those higher tier abyssal sites. Keep blasting. As he misses here, so that's good. If you're curious about the fit, since we are going so slowly here, put a lot in the tank. Reactive armor hardener, energized EM, energized thermal. We get an abyssal armor rep here, that's really nice. Damage control, we've got the double weapon, the painter. We've got the 10 MNI compact afterburner just for the fitting, although I still have some room here. And we've got take 2 heavy missile launchers, this time with Infernos heavy missiles. You also take precision missiles with you. Trimark pump and 1 medium bay loading accelerator for a bit more DPS, which is only at 444. That may not be enough to clear this stuff on time, because we are almost 7 minutes into the site, which is basically too long for the first room here. Well, at least there's a maximum amount of time that I'll still be spending in this site, depending on what we get in the next few rooms. But if this is any indication, then yes, 500 DPS is not going to be enough, just because, well, you encounter a battleship, it's got too much HP, it takes too long to do, so you need more DPS than what I'm bringing here. Is basically the lesson that I'm learning right away. I think you'll want to shoot for like 1000 DPS or something like that, which honestly I can only do on a Gila. But what do you do then with a Gila if you're encountering a full swarm of those tiny little drones? I don't know. Let's see if that structure goes a bit faster. I sure hope so. 90. Yeah, not really. Not really. That's a lot of HP to chew through. And again, that incoming damage is nothing to scoff at either. I mean, it's doable. You can definitely kite this damage as well with a bit more speed than what I've got going now. But look at that, we're actually going to do a full load of these heavy missiles. We're gonna have to do a reload as well, which is gonna cost us a little bit more time. At least I don't have to constantly press F for my drones to stay on target this time. So I'd say that that's good news. Have structure. 12 minutes left. And this is why the bug that was there previously, where you didn't see the timer, was really a problem. Now at least I know exactly what's happening here. I know that I won't have enough DPS. 2 more rooms like this, and I won't be able to do it. And can you imagine? I don't know. Hopefully in the next room we get like a wave of small drones just to see what that's all about, how many there are. But I think you already saw in the tier 1s and the tier 2s that, you know, doesn't have that much DPS. We're not that fast. And I guess that we're going on to 50 minutes for the video because of the tie-dye that is still showing up here. So keep firing. Come on, guys. Break through that structure. It is going down. We'll get into room 2 at least. So that is good news. It's possible, but you need more DPS. Fire. Go, go, go. What could I have done differently? Really not much, I think, to be honest. I could have gone with the missiles earlier on. But yeah, I think I dealt with the drones practically as efficiently as I could. Put these drones on him as quickly as I could as well. So I don't think I made any mistakes when it comes to this side here so far. So that one unblaps, the gate opens. Now we gotta recall the drones. We'll do the precision missiles. I feel a little bit better being ready for some small targets as well. Interesting mix, definitely. I said approach, right? Not jump, because I don't want to leave my my drones behind here. Interesting first encounter in this tier 5 site. And we finished the first room with 10 minutes left. So looks like we are, well, you know, you want to do this in half the time. So we're basically lacking 50% DPS here. Next up, full small drones. This surprises me. Is that a suppressor? It is a suppressor. It's not him. It's that one. Let's do approach. This surprises me because, I mean, they're called strong, but it's not that many of them. What's the range on this one? Range. 40 kilometers. Holy crap. He's going to clear this room for me. That makes this quite interesting. So those that take less damage, let's add our missiles to them. Okay. Very strange. Interesting. Strange. Ooh, look at the incoming damage. Well, yeah. It's decent, but I think that's a sensor dampener. So let's see if we can go after that one. Try to clear out some damage. Use my own drones. Good God. Not sure if I should. Can I try to burst out my... we definitely want to keep speed as well. Engage and then return. Something that's in web range, then you return them. Damage. Good God. That is quite a bit of damage. So let's hope that I can take some of those out. Another strong right there. We need to try and lower that incoming damage a bit at this point. So that one is now in web range, which means that we'll switch our hammerheads back out here. Kill that and return to drone bay. We are really close to that 30%, so another damage drone. Should have used my missiles on damage drones right off the bat. That's pretty obvious. Let's start heading towards the gates. But we are back at 50%. Very interesting stuff. Alright. Let's see if we can double web you. Hammerheads, go, go, go. Couple more strongs here. Suppressor, do your thing, please. Come on. Return. Okay. Next one. Firing. I can think, you know, the Triglavian cruiser, right? Just imagine you're using the Triglavian cruiser at this point. And, oops, make sure that, well, 19 kilometers. Let's maybe... So that one is down as well. Okay, just, you know, keep doing damage to that and basically make sure... I'll go back in here to make sure that we can keep doing damage. You're next. Now we are tanking this. But let's be honest, you don't want a worse tank than this either, I don't think. Okay, that stuff is really starting to die now. Thanks to the suppressor, of course. So, keep going. Kill them all for me. Thank you. Well, that's how you handle these little guys. So we are back at the suppressor. We're gonna go back for this one. Engage. Yep, blops. That's nice. Rapid lights. They don't have this kind of range, but blop. Good stuff, good stuff. Let's see if we can hit them without. Yep, okay. All of these guys will die pretty much simultaneously. All I could do is risk my small drones. Let's give that a go. Ah, damn, my D doesn't work. So return to drone bay, guys. Head back for the gate. We're just gonna straight jump. How many minutes do we have left? 6:39. Interesting second room that we just cleared in like less than 5 minutes. That is interesting. Another one of those, and we might actually survive this tier 3. Do we... Basically, I'm just going to see if I now push for time. We're gonna leave the loot behind, because this is again a good lesson. But what happens if you're in a Gila and, well, this type of wave, it is doable. It's not like it's 100 of these small types of drones, so it's not a crazy number. Interesting. Very interesting to see this in my opinion here. So final room, what are we up against? Another one of these. Tracking pylon suppressor. Alright, excellent. So that is yeah, I'd say pretty good news again. The damage drones are primary. So we're gonna engage you. And then the gate is all the way back there. Gotcha. There we go. Just keep him in that suppressor. And maybe, well, we've got 5 minutes, guys. Can we do it? I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Engage, go, go, go. Kill that off. Get back in here. Very well done. Alright, next one. Man, now they're taking a lot of damage from this suppressor. I'm gonna orbit you at 5k. Is it like the closer that they get, the more damage that they take or something? I don't know. But they are taking a lot of damage, and these are all damage drones, so there are not really any stronger drones to look at here. Fire. Go my drones. Start heading for that gate. We got another 35 kilometers to go. All of these guys are dying. Yeah. Return my own drones to the drone bay. What the hell is this? We are actually going to clear this. I wish there was like an achievement that would pop up. That would be so awesome. But looks like RNGesus will be... do I have time for the loot? We could actually swing by the loot, I think. We've got 3 minutes to go. And we're actually going to make it through this tier 5. But let's be honest, it's on sheer luck. But what a lesson. So you need more damage when you encounter stuff like those battleships. And how would I deal with these small drones if there was no suppressor? Well, that second room, that was actually a lot of damage, and that was not easy. I'm not sure. This is gonna take a lot of trial and error and some really amazing ships. And I would be honest, I'm not sure if you can actually get that type of stuff, but I would be looking at like 800 DPS and the same kind of tanks. This is like 75% resistance across the board with a reactive hardener that is going to help me the longer incoming damages as well. But anyways, that's going to be it for this mass test, and we actually survived the tier 5. Now we are suspect, but this is really cool, guys. Definitely some very interesting information there, and I think a good first step to maybe try to build a couple of ships that will handle these tier 5 sites when you're unlucky enough to come across like 2 battleships. You saw the time I needed in order to do that, so we obviously need more DPS than this. For now, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time.
Warp drive active.